Welcome to Happy Movie. Today, we continue with the episode 6 of The Last of Us. As early winter approaches,
Joel and Ellie have already arrived in Wyoming. However, the area is vast and sparsely populated. They haven't even seen a single soul.
not to mention finding his brother.
After walking for a long time,
They finally discover an woodhouse.
there is an elderly couple living inside. With the sudden arrival of Joel and Ellie, they remain very calm.
Especially when they see the lively Ellie.
The last trace of vigilance disappears.
The elderly couple is very familiar with the terrain here,
They tell Joel never cross the river in the center of the forest.
because the population on the other side is more dense. There may be a large number of infected and raiders. Joel's purpose in this trip is to find someone, so he must go to the other side of the river. After thanking the two elderly people, he sets off again with Ellie,
The two walk through the snow, trample over the yellowed wild grass.
and finally see a river of clear green. They plan to rest by the river for the night, where the land is vast and sparsely populated. They boldly light a bonfire.
And the sky reflects a beautiful aurora. Ellie thoroughly enjoys the current life. Born in the quarantine zone, she used to learn about the outside world only in the library. Now, as the destination gets closer,
She has already fantasized about life after the cure is developed. Joel's thoughts are simple. He just hopes to find a secluded place with his brother.
build a small cabin, and raise some cattle and sheep. Seeing that night is approaching, Joel tells Ellie to go to sleep quickly, and he will keep watch in the same place.
However, early the next morning,
Joel suddenly wakes up from a dream.
only to see Ellie standing there with a gun,
Joel remains stubborn.
rebuking Ellie for not waking him up to keep watch. Ellie doesn't argue, obediently nodding.
Soon, they come across an iron bridge spanning the river.
Joel fires a few shots as a test.
After waiting for a while with no response, it seems safe on the other side of the riverbank.
They successfully cross the river. Ellie can't help but say.
It doesn't seem as dangerous as the old man said.
They continue along the river, and in the distance, they see a large dam.
Joel tells Ellie.
That this used to be a large power station before the apocalypse.
Just at that moment, several strangers on horseback emerge from the hillside. Joel, caught off guard, is surrounded in an instant.
The faces of these people are full of hostility. They release a hunting dog directly to test if Joel is infected,
Joel remains calm on the surface.
but is internally extremely nervous. Although Ellie is immune, it's not certain that she doesn't carry the virus.
As the hunting dog gets closer to Ellie,
The tense feeling makes Joel's mind go blank.
but he can't do anything. Fortunately, the hunting dog doesn't detect any anomalies. Joel quickly explains that he's here to find someone. Introducing himself as Joel, one of the black women slowly walks forward, her eyes seeming to flicker.
Soon, everyone gallops together on horseback, quickly arriving at a human settlement.
After passing through a thick protective barrier, the scene before their eyes instantly changes. Who would believe that this is a surviving camp after the apocalypse?
Compared to the desolation and chaos outside, this place is like heaven on earth. Everyone's faces are filled with happy smiles.
Joel looks around.
Spotting his brother, Tommy, repairing houses in the distance, they finally reunite after being apart for half a year. Tears well up in Joel's eyes.
The man in front of him is his only family.
They quickly arrive at a large restaurant.
Joel and Ellie start to enjoy a hearty meal.
It's been a long time since they had a proper meal. Tommy is also extremely excited,
Introducing his wife with great solemnity. Her name is Maria.
because Tommy often mentioned Joel to him.
Maria recognized him first outside the city.
This woman is one of the leaders in the camp.
It took a full 7 years to make the camp to become as lively and prosperous as it is now.
Because they destroyed all radios early on.
They haven't attracted any major threats in these years. And the community has had electricity for 2 years now.
The power source is the hydroelectric plant Joel saw before.
Now, livestock farming is also on track.
They can completely sustain themselves here. All resources are distributed by the committee. It's already a complete social system.
After learning about the community,
Joel decides to talk to his brother alone. He's not here to retire and enjoy life. The most important thing now is to take Ellie to the Firefly base.
as Tommy's eyes start to flicker, he knows Joel came this time to take him away.
But he has already adapted to the current life.
He doesn't want to live in constant fear with his brother. Joel is still somewhat persistent in persuading. Who knows, Tommy suddenly says, he's going to be a dad himself. He looks forward to the coming days. Joel's eyes instantly dim.
He says he will leave early tomorrow. At this moment, he ages considerably. He even feels like his heart is about to stop beating. Suddenly, he sees a familiar figure standing in the bustling crowd.
But Joel quickly realizes his daughter died long ago.
And now, his only younger brother may also leave him.
Meanwhile, Ellie is already taking a comfortable hot bath at Tommy's house.
Her room still contains many old items.
In the bedroom, several clean clothes are neatly folded. These are prepared specifically for Ellie by Maria. The little girl curiously picks up a transparent plastic item. After reading the instructions, she learns its purpose.
There's a small blackboard on the fireplace in the living room.
2 names of deceased children are written on it. After inquiring with Maria, she learns
one of the girls named Sarah is Joel's daughter. After some dressing up, Maria takes Ellie to a movie theater, a luxury in the post-apocalyptic world.
But the little girl is not interested in the movie. She looks around throughout the entire time. Meanwhile, Joel is in the warehouse, feeling melancholic.
Brother Tommy brings him a new pair of boots. He also feels he has let his brother down.
Joel doesn't continue the conversation. Instead, he brings up Ellie's background.
The antibodies in the girl's body might save the world. She must be taken to the Firefly's base. This is also Tess's wish.
Joel realizes after experiencing many things on the road that he is really getting old,
No longer as strong as before.
sometimes even needing Ellie's help to deal with enemies. If this continues,
He will eventually endanger Ellie. The best solution for now is to let the young and strong Tommy continue to escort Ellie.
after listening, the younger brother remains silent for a long time.
He says he will take her away early tomorrow morning. After bidding farewell to Tommy, Joel comes to the room where Ellie is, only to see sadness all over her face.
It turns out she came out to find Joel halfway through the movie.
Accidentally overheard the conversation between them.
Ellie has been an orphan since childhood. She has long regarded Joel as her only family.
Now he abandons her for the sake of safety.
Ellie is full of anger. She thinks that adventuring with others would only make herself more scared. Joel looks at her deeply.
Then turns and leaves.
After returning to the room,
He remains silent on the bed for a long time. The image of his daughter comes to his mind again. Early the next morning, Tommy and Ellie pack up their gear, just arrived at the stable, but see that Joel is already prepared.
after a night of contemplation,
He decides to take Ellie on the journey himself.
Ellie, as if expecting it, quickly jumps on the horse.
Tommy gives his sniper rifle to his brother and instructs him to come back here to live after completing the mission.
Joel and Ellie quickly leave the community. After this,
He begins to teach the girl some survival skills, rely on herself rather than others,
Ellie learns quickly.
especially in some aspects. She is even self-taught.
You're so slow.
You're gonna shoot this thing or get it pregnant.
The two ride for several days.
Through dense jungles, across vast plains,
Finally reaching the outskirts of the city, the Fireflies' headquarters they are looking for is in the central university of the city.
after arriving at the destination,
Joel patiently explains to her one by one.
a group of monkeys suddenly appears in view.
Ellie guesses they escaped from the lab, indicating that the Fireflies' base in the biology building is not far away.
But when the two arrive, they find no guards at the entrance. Joel gradually has a bad feeling. Sure enough, the hall is cluttered with debris, but there is no sign of anyone. The inventory list on the table indicates that the Fireflies should have moved to another place.
Suddenly, there is movement upstairs.
Joel approaches slowly with a gun.
After instructing Ellie to be careful, he opens the door. Joel breathes a sigh of relief.
A large map hangs on the whiteboard. All arrows converge at one point.
The Fireflies should have all moved to Salt Lake City.
Suddenly, there is noise outside the building. Joel, holding a gun, slowly approaches.
Urging Ellie to quietly leave this place.
But when they are about to mount the horses,
A raider suddenly appears. Joel turns to avoid.
suddenly grabs the raider's neck, successfully dealing with the enemy. But he also gets stabbed in the abdomen. Joel just pulled out the knife.
Several raiders appear again.
They quickly ride away.
Ellie pulls out her gun and shoots repeatedly, finally escaping from the pursuers. Joel, due to excessive blood loss, gradually loses consciousness, falls off the horse,
Ellie anxiously checks.
but there is no response.
Despair is written all over the little girl's face.
Before, Joel took care of her. She didn't even have to worry about where to go. Now, the person protecting her is injured. What should she do now? This is the episode 6 of The Last of Us.
If you like it, please subscribe. Happy movie.
See you in the next episode.